This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome to Time to Care, the Caregivers podcast. I'm Isabel Melgarejo, your host. Today, I want to take this time to let you know about some changes that I'm doing in the upcoming weeks and months. First of all, the podcast is going on video as well. So I am really excited about doing this, about recording differently and showing my face and not just my voice. So I'm really excited about this new development, and we've been working on this for a while. I'm excited that we're going to be able to make this into a video, that we're going to be in YouTube. So if you're following me and you've been listening to the podcast for whatever period of time, I would love for you to go to YouTube and start following me there. I'm going to put a link in the show notes so you can go. Now this is going to be a video version as well. Isn't that exciting? I am super excited. So hope you are too. And I think this is going to be perfect because we're going to be able to connect. We're going to be able to keep the conversation going. If you have any questions, you're going to be able to make comments on YouTube. Please do that. Please go to YouTube and start following me there, because then we are going to be able to connect further. That is one thing that I wanted to share with you. Another thing that I wanted to share is that I will start, and actually I already tested this program in a group setting. So I've been working with caregivers all over the world, and one of the things that I've noticed that is missing in their lives is connection. We just go into our lives, do our lives, we connect with people. Of course, we connect with people. We go out with our friends, we go out to work, we are doing all of these things and connecting with people. But it is hard to find someone who's going through the same journey as us. And even though our journeys can be very different, I think it is important to build relationships with people that understand our journeys. So in June, I launched a beta program with beautiful ladies that joined me. And I discovered that this was exactly what people needed. They needed another group of people with whom they could connect, with whom they could share their lives and get great ideas. So I'm going to be launching another cohort in the fall. If you would like to come to the cohort, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter, because that's going to be the best way in which you're going to learn when this is happening. And I don't like big groups, because then they lose the purpose of their existence. When there are too many people, you don't get to connect with anybody. But in smaller groups, you actually get to meet amazing people. If you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter. That's going to be the way in which you learn from this program before anybody else. Go to the show notes and join our newsletter. That would be, I think, fantastic. And let me tell you a little bit more about this program that I'm going to be running. I've talked about connections, which are crucial, and that's why I'm pivoting from the services from one-to-one and helping clients one-to-one to actually connecting them with other caregivers and making sure that they're in the same journey together, building friendships that are meant to be positive. Some of the things that I've learned is that the people that I work with are very good in creating boundaries. I know not all of caregivers are good with that, but the people that come to me are usually very good at building boundaries, saying no, and prioritizing their self-care routines. What I find that is lacking are two things. First of all, assuming that other people just think exactly the same way as we do. Because we assume people think the same way as we do, we don't take the time to connect, to learn from others. And because we don't do that, we just assume that things are going to be one way or another. And the reality is that even if we come from the same family, we're raised by the same parents in the same household with the same opportunities, exactly the same, our perspectives are very, very different. Our perspectives change so much because we perceive life very differently. We see things with a different optic than anybody else does. I've noticed that we just keep assuming people are going to want certain things or in certain ways, but that doesn't happen because they bring their own experiences, their personal background, and everything they are and do and how they perceive things, and they put a different lens to things. And that leads to a lot of conflict. That leads to a lot of conflict because we are just assuming. And the worst part is that we assume, and many times it is easier for us to assume something than to have a conversation with our loved ones. And that is something that I want to change because it doesn't matter how different we are. It doesn't matter how our beliefs are different. I think it is crucial that we let others know about the things that we want and how we want it. And I think it is really important to stop making assumptions about other people just because we are very alike, just because we've known them all of our lives. I'm pretty sure you can say that you know your parents very well, that you know what they like, how they like it. Probably you know all their favorite foods, all the places they've been to, how they enjoy life, what they enjoy from life, and what they don't. But when we're talking about finer details, I think that's when we stop sharing the same vision because they have different perspectives than us. And many, many times we are so afraid of sharing those perspectives that we lose track of where we're going and how we're getting there. In this program, I am helping everybody who wants to join to discover how themselves and their loved ones perceive things so we can get to know them a little bit better. Isn't that wonderful, getting to know someone in a deeper level. I was having brunch earlier today with a friend, and she was telling me about these travel friends that she had. When she started dating her husband, one of them became very jealous. We were talking about the reasons why he would have been jealous of her dating somebody else, even though they had been traveling for 6 years, and there was never a hint of him wanting to be with her or of him wanting to connect with her in a deeper level. And she even mentioned that they would travel a lot. They would share personal experiences, but the conversations were never that deeply personal conversations that you could have with somebody. We were just talking about what happened with this person and what would have been their motivations. I know it was a very interesting topic for a morning, just trying to figure out what somebody else was thinking, and probably none of these ideas crossed his mind, and probably he was thinking something completely different. I think this is one thing that a lot of people just assume because we are so afraid of having those conversations, of bringing those topics on the table and making sure that everybody's on the same page. So they're very uncomfortable because we are not used to having these conversations, and we've been taught that we're not supposed to have these conversations. But I'm here to help you have them so you can avoid conflict. Because one way or another, decisions need to happen. I would love for you to join us and learn how to do this. Another thing that I feel brings a lot of value to family caregivers in this program, and I call it a lab because it is all about experimentation and trying new things. That's precisely what brings a lot of value, that nothing is set on stone. We get to try new things, experiment with new things in our lives, try different techniques and stuff. And I think that brings a lot of value because a lot of times we're just stuck with one perspective, with one way of thinking. That part of experimenting and trying new things and painting on a new canvas over and over again and bringing new perspectives, I think that is wonderful. I love novelty. I love doing new things and experimenting new things. And I think we all enjoy novelty. We all enjoy something new as long as it feels safe and as long as it feels that we're not going away from what we know. So wouldn't it be wonderful if you would get some time to discover different ways in which you could live this caregiving journey? It doesn't have to be the same way. And if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel that you can't have those conversations, if you feel that you are letting your life go down the drain because you don't have the resources, then come and join us because I'm going to make sure that you bring different ideas and learn how to bring those ideas and make sure that whatever you're experiencing in life, it is fully. So once again, go ahead to the show notes, join the newsletter because soon I will be opening another cohort, and I would be honored to have you there. Talk to you next week.